What is echo? First of all, we have to know what is reflection of sound. Here is a reflector which actually reflection the sound promotes the reflection of sound. What is reflection of sound? Like this is the source and sound propagation. It is the direction of the sound propagation. Now this is an obstacle. If it is obstructed by a huge reflector, then after some time this reflected sound can be bounced back through the original source. So this phenomena is called echo. If the original sound, if a second sound is heard besides the original sound, so the reflected sound which is heard by the observer other than original sound due to the reflection of sound is called echo. So there are common conditions for hearing a echo. What is the condition for hearing echo? Now any sound can be countered by a human beings if the time limit for that first sound and second sound is 0.1 second. If that so happen that the sound movement requires less than 0.1 second, then no sound can be heard by the human beings. That means they are not differentiated. So the condition for hearing echo is that time interval should be greater than 0.1 second. So this is the condition for hearing echo. And the second criteria is the reflector should be large enough. So reflector should be large enough. Reflector should be large. Because if the reflector is not large, then sound cannot be reflected, and if the sound cannot be reflected, then echo doesn't form. So there are two essential conditions. If that first condition does not hold good, that means we can hear both sounds, reflected as well as original sound, and those two sounds can be mixed, and that process is called reverberation. If that's so, then we cannot hear both the sounds. Now we can actually calculate the distance between the source and the reflector by the help of echo. So what is actually the distance between these two? Let the distance between d and the velocity of sound be v. Now for the reflected sound to move at that source from the starting point is the sound goes d distance and reflected back d distance. The total time total distance traveled by the sound is total distance equal to d plus d 2d. Why d plus d? Because sound travel from this direction to this direction at a distance of d and reflected back same distance which is d. So that the total distance should be 2d, and the time, let the time be t. So distance by time gives you the velocity. So v equal to 2d by t. From that experimental result, from that equation, we can actually calculate the dt and the v if two of them are given to me. Now the time duration for the requirement of that echo hearing, the time is 0.1 second. Now velocity of sound, if it is 340 meter per second, then 2d by t is 0.1 second. That means d equal to 17 meter, nearly equal to 17 meter. So for hearing the echo we have required a distance between the source and reflector greater than 70 meter approx. If the distance between the reflector and the source is less than 70 meter, then echo cannot be heard by that source or by that observer. So this is the condition for hearing the echo.